Good morning, student. Myself Dhruv Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, GIMS Engineering Management Technical Campus, Greater Noida. Okay. Today I am presenting you the lecture 4th of Unit 1 of Mechatronics. Mechatronics, in which I will discuss all the concepts of the pneumatic actuation systems, pneumatic actuation systems. Okay. So before this lecture, we already have discussed about the hydraulic and the pneumatic consequences in the previous lecture. Okay. So today I am going to start with pneumatic system. Okay. So what is, first of all, I would like to tell you what is pneumatic system. I already told you hydraulic means the oil or the fluids is required, and the pneumatic means the compressed air is required. Okay. So the pneumatic technology deals with the study of behavior and application of compressed air in our daily life in general, and manufacturing automations in particular. Pneumatic system uses the air as the medium in which is abundantly available in our surrounding and can be exhausted into the atmosphere. After completion of the assigned work to the device. Okay, so before going to the going to thorough discussions, we are going to discuss what are the important component of the pneumatic system. What are the important component of the pneumatic system? So one very important component is the air filter, and what is the function of the air filter. So these are used to filter out the contaminants from the air. The dust, dirt, and all those things which can harm the piston, the cylinder of the pneumatic. Okay. So apart from this, one of the important apart from this, one of the important component we are going to discuss is the compressor. Okay. Compressor. Okay. So compressor. So compressed air is generated by using air compressor, and the air compressor are either diesel or the electrical operated. Air compressor are both, either it is operated by the diesel or operated by the electric. Okay. So based on the requirement of the compressed air, suitable capacity compressors may be used. Rather than this, we are talking about the air cooler. It is very important. During the compression operation, if you are going to compress the air, of course, if you are going to compress the air temperature may rise and may increase. Therefore, the cooler are used to reduce the temperature of the compressed air, so that it will not cause any unwanted result. Okay. So then dryer, and what is the function of dryer. What is the function of dryer? I must tell you, the water vapor or the dust, dirt, or the water vapor or the moistures in the air, which can be separated from the air by using a dryer, so that so that the piston, the cylinder assembly can can move further, can move longer and long cycle time. Then it is the control valves. So control valve, which are used to regulate and the control and monitor the control direction, flow, and the pressure, etc. Then important component is the air actuators. What is the function of air actuators? Air cylinder and the motors are used to obtain the required movement of mechanical element of pneumatic systems. Right? Then we are talking about the electric motors. This transform the electrical energy into the mechanical energy, and it is used to drive the compressor. This is the same what we are using to drive the compressor. And last one, this is the receiver tanks. The compressed air coming from the compressor is stored into the air receivers, or you can say the compressed air which can be kept into the tank, right? Which can be kept into the tank. So now you will see this is the component of the pneumatic system. Okay. Before going to the compressor, going into the compressor, we are having the intake filter. So is this filter will filter all those unwanted component inside the airs, and passes it to a compressor, passes it to the compressor. Okay, compressor compressed the air and passes it to the cooler. Okay, and what is the function of cooler I already discussed. Okay, and then cooler send it to the separator, cooler send it to the separator. Okay, and separator is connected to the receiver where the compressed, and this is the receiver. And receiver, what is the function of receiver? I already told you. It store the compressed air, it store the compressed air. Okay, and this receiver is associated with the motor control with the compressor. Okay, so this receiver is having the pressure switch, which is associated with pressure switch, which is associated with the motor control center and connected to the compressor. Okay, and what are the output we are getting? This is this has been done primarily. This is the secondary air treatment. After passing after pass on from receivers, it passes to the secondary air treatment. And secondary air treatment, after that, the output of the secondary air treatment is associated with the control valves. And control valve is having the valve which can be used as per our requirements and passes the signal. Let us suppose this will give us the reciprocating motion, and this control valve passes the signal to the actuators, and actuators will activate the piston cylinder assembly. This is what we are talking about. These are the important component of the pneumatic system. So you must have to see typical pneumatic power system. You will see this diagram. This is the same diagram we are having discussed earlier. Okay, this is the same diagram we have discussed earlier. Okay, this is the same diagram we have discussed earlier. See, this is the pressure relief valve. I already told you this is what the motor. So in pneumatic power system, an electric motor drives an air compressor, right? Air compressor. Clear? Okay. So this motor pass on the air to the compressor. This motor pass on the air, in abundant air from the atmosphere, to this compressor, and this compressor is associated with filter, okay, and then silencer. So the air inlet to the compressor is likely to be filtered and via a silencer to reduce the noise level. What is the use of this silencer? Silencer will reduce the noise level, and filter will filter all the contaminants before entering into the compressor. And then this pressurized air going on to the pressure relieving valve. And you know what is the function of pressure relieving valve? A pressure relieving valve provide protection against the pressure, okay, in the system rising above the safe limit. Well, let us suppose if the pressure is going up to the safe limit, so pressure regulator will regulate the pressure and make it into the safe limit. And then rather than this, we come to the cooler section and filtering and the water trap. Okay, since the compressor increases the temperature of the air, compressor will compress the air and air temperature will be raised, so there likely to be the cooling system. And to remove the contamination and the water from the air, okay, a filter with the water trap is used. A filter with the water trap which will trap all those water which is present in the air. Okay, and at last it goes to the accumulator, you can say the air receivers. And air receivers I already discussed you, and air receivers increases the volume of the air in the system and smooth out the short term pressure fluctuations. So these are all about the pneumatic power system. Okay, now we should discuss what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages. What are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of the pneumatic system? Okay, what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of the pneumatic system? Okay, so the availability. Availability is a big cause. Availability, air is available everywhere in unlimited quantities. So in abundant air is available in our surrounding. And second advantage, the transportation. Air can be easily transported through the pipeline, even over the large distances. Okay, and then storage. The compressed air can be stored in the reservoir or the tank. okay, and removed as required, then temperature, compressed air is relatively what, insensitive to the temperature fluctuations. Then cleanliness. So one of the best example is this. If you are going to compare the hydraulic and the pneumatic, in hydraulic, if leakage takes place, then hydraulic will is not a neat and clean source. But here, cleanness in the pneumatic system is very good. Okay, so the unlubricated exhaust air is clean, and then the running cost. Running cost is very less. Okay, so the running cost is very less, and then we are talking about the speed. So the compressed air is very fast working medium. So this enable the high working speed to be attended. And overdue safe limit means the pneumatic tools and operating component can be loaded to the point of a stop and are therefore overload safe limit. So come to the disadvantage part. Okay, so if you see preparations, preparation, compressed air require the good preparations. Dust and dirt and the condenser should be the removed. Dust and the condensates, okay, should be removed. Then speed, as the air is incompressible, it is difficult to achieve the uniform and the constant piston speed. Then force requirement, compressed air is economical only up to a certain range, only up to the certain force requirements. Okay, under the normal working pressure of 600 to 700 kPa, kilopascals, it is nearly 6 to 7 bar. Okay, and then the noise level. The exhausted air is loud, means the noisy. So this problem has now, however, been largely solved due to development of sound absorptions material and the silencer. So now we are talking about the air treatments. We already have shown you before the component discussions. Okay, so here you will see air treatment stages. What are the stages of the air treatment? See here. There are seven stages of air cleaning or air treatment. Okay, so air treatment stages. Air treatment stages. See this diagram. This is the air in, and air in goes through the inlet filter, and filtered air passes through the compressor. Okay, and pass this after compressing the air, the temperature may rise up, goes to the cooler, and the cooler send the main line filter. Okay, and then main line filter passes the compressed air to the dryer, and dryer can overcome the dust and overcome the moistures and the droplets present in the air. Then this is passed on to the receiver tanks, and receiver tank can store the pressurized air. And then we are using the same connected with the the air service unit. Okay, and after that we are passing to the air services. Okay, so here you will see the primary treatment has been made after compressed air goes to the cooler, then the main line filter, then the dryer. Okay, this is what the primary air treatment. And secondary air treatment is starting from the reservoir tank or receiver tank to the air service unit, to the vents and to the load, right? So for satisfactory operation of the pneumatic system, the compressed air need to be cleaned and dried. So the atmospheric air is contaminated. They may carrying the dust, smoke, and the humidity. Okay, so this particle can cause wear on the system components, and the presence of the moisture may cause the corrosion. Hence, it is very essential to treat the air before entering into this. Treat to the air to get rid of these impurities. So the air treatment can be divided into the 3 stages as shown in the figure. So stages I told you, this is the primary, secondary, and tertiary. Okay. So come to the next. In the first stage, the large size particles are prevented from entering. Okay, so you will see in first stage you will see the large size particles and are prevented from entering the compressor by intake filter. This is what I told you, the intake filter. This is what I told you, the intake filter. Okay, and the air leaving the compressor may be humid and may be the high temperature. So the air from the compressor is treated in the second stage, and in the this stage of the compressed air is lowered using a cooler, and the air is dried by the use of the dryer. Also, an inline filter is provided to remove any contaminants particles present in the air. So this treatment is called the primary air treatment. That is what we call it, the primary air treatment. In the third stage, which is the secondary air treatment process, and further the filtering is carried out. Further the filtering is carried out. So the lubricator introduces a fine mist of oil into the compressed air. Okay, into the compressed air, and this will help in the lubrication of the moving component, so that of the system to which the compressed air is applied. Right. So come to the next. We are talking about the second stage. That is what the mainline filter. Mainline filter is what? In the first stage, mainline filter is what? Mainline filter. These filters are used. These filters are used to remove the water vapor or the solid contaminants which is present into the pneumatic system main lines. So these filters are discussed in the these filters is very desirable in pneumatic systems. Then lubricators. What is the role of lubricators? So the compressed air is first filtered and then passes through a lubricator in order to form a mist or the oil, and you can say air to avoid the lubrication to the mating component. In the previous diagram, you may see the schematic diagram of the typical lubricator. So the principle and the working of Venturi meter is followed in the operation of lubricator. That they are having the same principle. So the compressed air from the dryer enter into the lubricator, and its velocity increases due to the pressure differential between the upper and the lower changer in the oil reservoir, and due to the low pressure in the upper chamber of the oil is pushed into the upper chamber from the oil reservoir, okay, through a siphon tube with a check valve. So this you can see in this diagram. Okay. So the main function, this is actually the air lubricator. This is the air. This is the intake, and this is intake, and this is outlet. This is inlet, and this is outlet. And these are the oil droplets. These are the oil droplets which has been kept at the top, and the oils has been carried out from this oil reservoir and pass on to this top oil drops, and the oil is discharged into the form of the drop. Okay. So here you will see here is the inlet and here is the outlet, and the main function of this valve is to control the amount of oil passing through it. So the oil drop inside the throttle zone where the velocity of the air is much higher, and this high velocity of the air may break the oil drops into the teeny particles like this. Okay. So teeny particle, thus a mist air, and the oil is generated. So the pressure difference across the chamber is adjusted by the help of the needle valve. Right? Help of a needle valve. Okay, so it is difficult to hold an oil mixtures air in the air receiver. As the oil may settle down to the chamber, so thus the air is lubricated during the secondary air treatment. Air is basically lubricated during the secondary stage of the air treatment. Okay, so the low viscosity oil form better mist than the high viscosity oil, and hence ensure that oil is always present into the air. Oil is always present into the air. Okay. So next to this, next stage is what? Next stage is the pressure regulations. So see this diagram of the pressure regulations. In pneumatic system, let us take this brush. Okay. In pneumatic, pressure regulations. In pneumatic system, during the high velocity compressed air flow, there is a flow dependent pressure drop between what? The receiver and the load. That is what we can call it for what application we are using. So therefore, the pressure in the receiver is always kept higher. Pressure in the receiver is always kept higher than the system pressure, because from the receiver pressures we are going to generate, we are going to move the component. We are going to move the component. Okay. So at the application side, the pressure is regulated to keep it constant. So there are three ways to control the local pressure, and this can be shown into this diagram. So see this air from the receiver. This goes to this the pressure regulator. This is the vent. Okay, and this is the control valve. Control valve is associated with this controller, and controller is associated with the pressure transducer. Okay, so from these three inputs, we are getting the load X, load Y, and the load Z. 3. So there are the three ways to control the local pressure by the use of the pressure regulation. We are getting the pressure of the air from receiver end. Okay, and then we are talking about the relief valve. There we are talking about the relief valves. See this diagram. Relief valve is what? The simplest type of pressure regulating device. Okay, this is the simplest type of the pressure regulating device, and the schematic of this construction, the working, I may show this has been shown in this diagram. Okay, this may have been shown in this diagram. Let me take these brushes. So this is the source pressure, and this is called the relief valve. Okay, so relief valve is the simplest type of pressure regulating device. Okay, so the schematic of its construction and the working is shown in the figure here. So it is used as a backup device. If the main pressure control fails, it consists of the ball type valve. This ball type valve. So it is used as a backup device if the main pressure control unit is failed. It consists of a ball type valve held on the valve seat by separating the tensions. Okay. So it consists of a ball type valve held on the valve seat by the spring in tension. So the spring tension can be adjusted by using the adjusting cap, right? So when the air pressure exceeds the spring tension, pressure, the ball is dissipated. Ball is displaced from its seat. Thus releasing the air and reduce the pressure. A relief is specified by its span pressure between the cracking and the full flow. So the pressure range and the flow rate. Once the valve open, means the cracking pressure, flow rate depends on the excess pressure, and once the pressure falls below the cracking pressure, the valve will seal itself. So this is the pressure setting spring, and this is the adjusting cap. Okay, so the source pressure is is less than the cracking pressure, then more than the cracking pressure, it will stop the valve, it will seal the valve itself, and if it is less than, then it is open and work accordingly. Then goes for the non-relieving pressure regulators. In this diagram, you will see in a non-relieving pressure regulator, let me take the brush. Yeah, in a non-relieving pressure regulator, okay, you will see this diagram. The outlet pressure is sensed by the diaphragm, and which is the preloaded by a pressure setting spring. If the outlet pressure is too low, see this is the adjusting screw, okay, and this is the pressure setting spring. This is what the pressure setting screw, Okay, and this is the outlet below. This is the diaphragm. This is actually the diaphragm, and this is inlet, and this is the poppet. Okay, so if the outlet pressure is too low, the spring forces the diaphragm, and the poppet move down. Poppet will move down. This poppet will move down. This poppet will move down. If the outlet pressure is too high, if the outlet pressure is too low, the spring forces the diaphragm and the poppet to move down, and thus the opening of the valve to admit more air. Then valve will open and they will admit the more air and raise the outlet pressure. If the outlet pressure is too large and the air pressure forces the diaphragm up, hence reduce the airflow and causing reduction in the air pressure. So the air bends away through the load. At a steady state condition, the valve will balance the force of the diaphragm from the outlet pressure with the preset force of the spring. So this is the adjusting screw which can screw for the which can screw for ups and downs. This is the diagram of the non. Okay, and at the end we are talking about the seventh stage, that is the service unit. Okay, so see this diagram. This is what the separator. This is pressure regulator, and this is a lubricator. Okay, and in diagram B you will see the service unit symbol. Okay, so during the preparation of the compressed air, various processes such as the filtration, regulations, and the lubrication are carried out by individual components. So the individual components are separator, pressure regulator, and the lubricator. So preparatory functions can be combined into one unit, and which is called the service unit. So this this diagram is the symbolic notations of the service unit. Okay, symbolic representation of the various process involved in the air preparation and their service unit. So in coming classes we will discuss the new topics in which we will learn how many pneumatic valves we are using, and there are the different type of the valves. In direction control we will have the two-way valve, three-way valve, four-way valve, five-way valve, then pneumatic check valve, then flow control valve, pneumatic shuttle valve. Okay, and type or the two pressure valve, quick exhaust valve, time delay valve. So these are the different type of the valve we will go through in coming classes. So thank you once again for listening this lecture. Thank you.